So today's recipe is an adaptation of my sponge. I normally would use a wheat and corn flour, but today we're using gluten-free corn flour, so we'll see how it goes. Our main ingredients, of course, are egg, sugar, corn flour, some plain flour, cream of tartar and carb soda. So we're going to add to our mixer 3/4 of a cup of castor sugar, 4 eggs, as I said, at room temperature. With any luck, I won't get any shell in there. If you do get shell in your cooking, the best thing to get it out with is another piece of shell. There we go. And we're going to add some vanilla essence. Now this is a concentrated one, so I'll only put about 1/2 teaspoon. And it is a good idea to have a stand mixer or something that's quite powerful. So we're going to pop this on for 7 minutes. So while our eggs are beating for 7 minutes on high speed, we're going to sift our dry ingredients, and they need to be sifted 3 times so that you get a lovely light sponge. Our first ingredients is some gluten-free plain flour, and I'm going to do a couple of heaped teaspoons, 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar and 1/2 teaspoon of carb soda. You should be very impressed because I don't usually use the proper measure. And now we're going to add to that, or fill up our cup with corn flour. So it's very simple. We'll top that right up to the top. If you wanted to make a chocolate sponge, take a couple of dessert spoons of corn flour out and add some cocoa powder, and you can make a chocolate sponge. So I have a couple of pieces of just some greaseproof paper, and we need to sift this 3 times. So into there. Make sure we get all those ingredients out. Give it a bit of a shake. It goes through quite easily because it is corn flour, of course. If you have any lumps, it will probably be from the plain flour, so make sure you those through. Now you might have your own way of doing this. This is how I do it and find it fairly successful. So onto another piece of baking paper or greaseproof paper. It's out twice, and we only need 1 more time. And with any luck, you don't drop it and it goes all over the place. Our eggs have been beating for 7 minutes, and we're going to add the dry ingredients. So I'm going to turn this onto the slowest speed, add our dry ingredients and just let it beat for about 1 minute. So that's how easy it is. We might have a little bit of flour in our beater, but we can just easily fold that through. So I have 2 tins here. Now these are my old sponge tins, different sizes, fit one inside the other, but they have straight sides. So if you're putting one sponge on top of the other, it's much nicer to have a straight-sided tin. Sprayed them, and I've lined them with some baking paper. Don't normally do that, but I'm not trusting myself today because we're making them especially for you. So we'll just divide this mixture between the 2 tins. And if they were the same size, the same height, you'd be able to measure that a lot easier, but you're not going to worry too much. You can see how it's quite thick and creamy. Give them a couple of taps to release any large air bubbles. And we'll pop them into a preheated 170 degrees Celsius fan forced oven. Right, these have been in for 15 minutes. Just pop them there for a minute and hopefully they'll be okay. So you can see that they've a little bit firm to touch and they've come away from the edge of the tin, and I usually tip them out fairly quickly. You don't want them sweating. See how we go. Peel that paper off. I think they'll be okay. So what we're going to do is whip some cream, and we'll put them with some jam and cream in the middle. See how we go. So we have our sponges out of the oven and they've cooled down, and we're going to whip some cream, put some jam on them, the cream, one on top of the other, and sprinkle some icing sugar on top. So I'm going to whip about 1.5 cups of cream just to make sure that we've got plenty. And into that I'm going to add some icing sugar, just about dessert spoon, tablespoon. Not a lot. If you whip cream and add a little bit of sugar to it, it will hold its shape better. So I'll just pop that in there. Just a little bit of sweetness. You don't need a lot because you've got the sweetness from the jam. And some vanilla essence. And we'll just beat that until it's nice and firm. That should do. You can see it's quite firm. Have lots of alternatives. We're going to just put some jam and some cream in the middle, lemon butter, put sliced strawberries. You can do the top with bananas, strawberries, mixed fruit, chocolate shavings, whatever you like. It'll be very yummy. This one's going on the bottom because he was a slightly bigger tin. And I have some strawberry jam. Spread that over. So if you wanted to make it really fancy, you could pop your cream into a piping bag with a star nozzle and pipe around the outside, add your cream, and then you'll have a fancy edge. Pop some cream on top of that. Just gently working from the outside, the inside out is best. Pop the top on. This is where it's a good idea to get it straight the first time. Doesn't always work. And we're just going to sprinkle over some pure icing sugar. So there we have our gluten-free, quick and easy sponge, one mixing bowl. Doesn't take terribly long to cook, and it's very simple to do. Just remember you can put cream on top and add your fruit, whatever you like to it.